welcome. I'm Adam on in, tonight's broadcaster for round 2 of the COVID Cup series hosted by Go2Whoa. So let's get to the live scenes where the drivers are currently in a 45-minute practice session. So yeah, as I mentioned tonight, Go2Whoa's COVID Cup round 2 at Algarve. So Algarve plays host to this wonderful series hosted by Go2Whoa. There's the track, 15 corners. It's quite technical as well, but it's also quite high average speed as well. So we'll wait and see if there's going to be a lot of close racing tonight. There's the event details. Qualifying 1, 10 minutes, sets race 1. Race 1, 9 laps. Qualifying 2, 5 minutes, sets race 2. And race 2 is 18 laps with a mandatory pit stop. So that is stuff for that. And then we've got our entry details for tonight. Titan driving the number 2 Audi GT3. We've got Black Wildcats driving the number 88 Bentley GT3. Then we've got Someone Awesome driving the number 8 Ford GTE. Then we got Nachos in the number 9 Ford GTE. We got Bonicus in the number 11 Chevrolet GTE. We've got Exorcist in the number 19 Ford GTE. And we got Angry in the Chevrolet GTE. So the Chevrolets and Ford seem to be dominating here. Blue XR8 in the number 31 Ferrari GT3. And we got Vic in the number 33 BMW GT3. We've got JJ Penguin in the number 43 Acura, or Honda if you like to call it that, in the GT3 car. Ty Morgo in the number 63 Ferrari GT3. Eagle Wind in the number 68 Ferrari GTE. Almost through this now. Brett Want in the number 71 Ferrari GTE car. We've got Mitty in the number 93 Aston Martin GTE. We've got You'll Be Dead, reigning champ in the number 162 Acura GT3 car. And then we got Morningstar Mike in the 666 car in the Lambo GTE. And that rounds out the entries for tonight's race, or round rather. So Someone Awesome, he's the early pace setter with a 1:39.9. That's a ripper of a time from him to get on top of the rest of the guys by almost 0.8 of a second. So he's flying in this practice session. We've got to keep in mind, yeah, this is only practice, so we've still got a 10-minute qualifying session to follow this. We'll hop on board with Brett Want, who's currently P2. So him, Angry, the two drivers in the 140s there, and those two are only separated by less than 1/10 of a second, so those two are extremely close as well. So we'll keep an eye on this here. So we get the splits and the track map up. I don't think we need speedo for the qualifying sessions and all that. We may need it for the race so we can see the fill numbers between the drivers. See if they got enough fill to last the end of the race. So Brett Want, he's in the last sector now. A little bit taily there. Looks a little bit unsettled in that Ferrari. So we've got 5 minutes remaining in this practice session. So onto a pitch straight now we go in Brett Want. About to cross the control line. I'm not sure if this is an outlap. We'll wait and see though. Obviously an outlap. Well, for the time being, we'll actually get the leaderboards up on screen for your reference here. So there's the current standings in the COVID Cup here. So got to keep in mind it's a multi-class GTE, GT3 series here. So there is the driver standing. Someone Awesome, he's got a 27-point lead. Got to remember, he clean swept the last round. And he's got a 27-point lead over Eagle Wind, who's in second with 54 points. Then we got Bonicus 2 points behind him on 52 points. Titan the first of the GT3 runners in P4. So he got a big haul of points last week, and he's provisional championship leader for the GT3 guys. He sees himself on 50 points. We've got Exorcist in P5 on 49 in the next train of the GTEs. We've got Angry in P6 with 47. We've got Brett Want in P7 with 46. And then we've got a train of GT3 guys here, and You'll Be Dead, the reigning champ, on 36 points. Ty Morgo P9, 35 points. We've got Blue XR8 rounding out the top 10 on 33 points. Then we go beyond the top 10 here. Morningstar Mike P11 on 28 points. Black Wildcats, he's on 22. And in P13, we got Penguin on 21 points. Then we got Mitty on 19 points. And then we got Dean in P15 with 18. Vic in P16 with 15 points. And then we got Nachos and Azza both on the 9 points. Now we've got to keep in mind that this is a team series as well. So here is the teams championship scenario here. So Brig Brass Bulls Racing up on the top of the leaderboard with 114 points, and they got a 10-point margin over their closest rivals in Titan Snake Oil Racing. So that pair in Eaglewind and Titan, they're no doubt going to challenge the big guys in So and Awesome and Blue XR8 for this whole season, that's for sure. And then we got Angry Mongos on 82 points. They're 32 points behind the lead. So we can basically class this as the best of the rest battle at this stage. Then we got Devil Brew Racing on 77. So they're 5 points down from Angry Mongos. And we've got the Raging Rookies on 70 points in P5. In P6, we've got Brett Want and JJ Penguin on 67. And we got Front and Back Row Racing on 58 in P7. And then H&R Motorsports in P8 with 34 points. No doubt they're going to be bouncing back from an underperformance from them last week. So hopefully we'll see better results this week for H&R Motorsports there. So we'll get back to the live scenes. So Brett Want, he hasn't made any inroads, but this is a hot lap now. So he's on pit straight now. What's his time going to be for him? Is it going to improve on his current best? No, it doesn't. So he returns to pit lane there. So we'll go on board with Angry. He's racing the Chevrolet GTE car. He's a perfect operator in this selected vehicle here. Got to keep in mind he was challenging in the GTE Sunday Series as a championship contender in the Chevrolet GTE. He ended out coming out P3, if I can recall correctly. So he's definitely got some pace in this thing. So we've got 40 seconds left in this practice session. We'll go straight to a 10-minute quali. So if you're thinking realistically, the drivers will have in between 3 to 4 attempts to get in a hot lap. So we'll see who jumps first and obviously who goes late, because we know later on in the session the track is all gripped up and ready to go for hot laps to be punched in. So an outlap from Angry there, see he's 10 seconds off his fastest lap. So we'll go on board cockpit view, on board with Angry. We'll see how busy he is in the cockpit here. Practice session is complete, but the drivers that cross the control line still have another go at getting a hot lap here. So no doubt the guys that still have the opportunity, the majority of them would be on a quali trim run. So what's the second split going to be for Angry out of sector 1? So he's barely down on his quickest, so this could be good. Really aggressive through this technical section in the mid sector. He's went a little bit wide there, so he's had to get on the power a little bit later. Shouldn't have hindered him too much, but going up the hill now, a very difficult braking zone. Because it's a blind corner heading in, because you're going uphill. You can't see your apex until the last minute. So he's lost a little bit of time in the mid-sector. Not too much. He's less than 2 tenths down on his quickest. So it's still going to be a consistent lap time there for him if he can punch in below the 140s. Within the 140s, below 141, he's a ripper of a time at this circuit in the GTE car. I'm quite surprised to see Titan all the way back in P12. He was set 142s in practice earlier this week, so, and got to keep in mind he's in the GT3 car, so provisional championship leader there. So no improvement there for Angry. I think, yep, practice session is done and dusted. So there's your results there. The top 8 drivers, all GTE. And then the preceding drivers, all in the GT3 class from 9th to 15th. So we might have quite a performance from the GTE guys tonight. It was all very over the place last week with times. We had a couple of the GT3 guys get over a few of those GTE guys. So I reckon we might see the GTE guys a lot faster tonight, that's for sure. Because this track really favours top end speed. So got to keep in mind that the GTEs have got a little bit more top end speed over the GT3 class. So no doubt they're going to get a lot of time in comparison to them there. But the slow corners should be relatively similar in that regard though. So we're on board with Brett Want. So we got a few guys in front of him there. Championship leader, Someone Awesome, is ahead over there in the number 8 Ford GT. We've got the Bentley of Black Wildcats there as well. So that downhill braking zone, it's going to be an awesome overtaking opportunity tonight, but if you try and outbrake yourself too much, it could be a massive dive bomb on the cards. So the driver's got to be careful in the downhill braking zone there, entering the second sector that they pull it up before the apex of the corner. So there's going to be a lot of skill involved at this circuit tonight. Never get a rest until pit straight. So we're going to have a quick turnaround after this qualifying session, straight in the race 1, which if I recall correctly was a 9-lap race. It's a sprint race to the end, so no mandatory pit stop. So here we go. We'll go on board with championship leader and Someone Awesome. He set the pace a lap in practice with a 1:39.9. So we'll go on board cockpit view now. Have a look at the track map to see where everyone else is on track. So the track is very busy at this stage with only Blue XR8 and Dean in pit lane. So going to try get a decent gap to, you know, have clean air if you really want to. If you're a GT3 guy, it wouldn't be unusual for one of the GT3 guys to stick in right behind one of the GTE cars down the main straight, because they would also benefit from that draft quite severely. So it might be a good strategy call if they can get in behind there. But they've got to time that to absolute perfection if they're getting the draft at the right time. So about to exit the mid-sector now for Someone Awesome. It's really fragile on the power, getting out of that hairpin there. Obviously, what's this going to be for Someone Awesome? You'll be dead set in the benchmark time at this stage, 1:43.7 in the GT3s. That's a 1:41.1 from Someone Awesome, so he's 2 seconds off. Not even that, so about 1.2 seconds off his practice pace. And Brett Want, he's 4 tenths behind Someone Awesome. You'll be dead in the GT3. We'll go trackside view now. Missed the apex there ever so slightly, the reigning champ. Horse is going to be for a sector split. He's up by 4/10, so this is going to be a ripper of a lap time here for the reigning champ, if he can hold on to it. So he's in the mid-sector now, uphill braking zone. Very hard to spot that apex. You just got to guess it coming into the corner pretty much. So he's up by almost 6/10 now. This could get into the 42 free class, so we'll wait and see what happens. He's went out wide there. He had to catch a little bit of a slide. A little bit of understeer may have cost him out of the last sector there. He's losing the rear a little out of the last corner. Has that lost him a little bit of time there? So we got Titan in the GT3 car, in the Audi, with a 1:43.3. So he did lose a little bit of time there, you'll be dead, but he's P5 provisionally now. Provisionally P1 in the GT3s for 1:43.3. So awesome lap time from him. Go on board with EXO, and that's Morningstar Mike going off the left-hand side there. Now for EXO, he's got his lights on, definitely on a hot lap now. Gets it pulled up quite nicely at the downhill braking zone hairpin. So what's this going to be for a first sector split? So he's up by 7/10, going to get into the 141s now. And he's looking to pit Bonicus of P3, that 141.3. We've got Someone Awesome, he's went quicker with a 140.5, and Brett Want also following train 40.9. So still 4/10 down. We're still reasonably close between the front two guys. EXO had to catch a little bit of a slide on entry to the last hairpin there. Now it's the long left-hander heading on to pit straight now for EXO. It's going to be a lot of rear left tyre heating tonight, that's for sure, especially if you're on the soft compound. A lot of drivers might opt to go to hard compounds in the longer race. As for the sprint race, they might opt to go on the soft. So EXO, 6/10 quicker, but no improvement on the leaderboards. We've got Eagle Wind in P5 in that Ferrari. He's in GT3 class. So we've got a train of GTE guys from 1st to 5th. And we've got You'll Be Dead and Titan. JJ Penguin, 6 to 8 in the GT3 class, so those guys are extremely quick. We haven't seen a 142 from any of the GT3 drivers yet, but we might see that later on. We've still got 2 minutes in qualifying one. We'll wait and see if it can be done. It'll definitely be a race to the line for sure, but You'll Be Dead and Titan will both be in the mix to get that time. Both extremely quick drivers. No doubt they're going to give it a crack. Right-hander now, heading on the main straight for Eagle Wind. Current quickest is a 1:42.8, so he's got a lot of time to find if he's to catch up to Someone Awesome at the top. So there's no improvement there, so that would have been an outlap. We'll go on board with Penguin. He's in the Acura GT3, or if you want, we'll call it the Honda. So he's still in Sector 1 now. We go on board cockpit view, see it all unfold. A little bit wide of the apex there, but he's looking to get on the power early, and he does. So JJ Penguin's quickest, a 1:43.4, and he's almost 2/10 down on his quickest, so he's got a little bit of time to find in the mid and third sector. A little bit of extra understeer, but didn't phase him too much. So heading up into the uphill braking zone now. It's a blind corner heading in. So there's the apex there on the inside near the sausage curb. Through quite substantially in this last sector. He goes wide there, but can get on the power early. So we've got 15 seconds left in this session. So any of the guys are across the control line now. We'll be able to get in the lap time. The two guys on pitch straight now should be able to get in with no drama. We've got about 7 to 8 drivers all on a hot lap. It's crunch time here at Algarve. This is going to be across the line. I don't think it improved because I didn't get the sector split. Not sure what happened. So Bonicus, he's in the first sector. Just went a little wide there. Hopefully he doesn't get a slowdown. Very deep under brakes here. Hits the apex perfectly on the inside. Down by 4/10, so he's got a lot of time to find the next 2 sectors. And see what he can produce in those sectors. A little bit of a rear slide there. Oh, he's lost the rear. He's went on to the outside curb and that has rotated him around the corner. Now this is Eagle Wind. He seems to be finished. Or no, he's still racing here. So who are these 3 guys across the line? So Black Wildcats will cross the line. Currently P16. So any time here can improve him up the grid. No improvement there. So qualifying session is done at Algarve, and here is how the qualifying session ended. So top 6 drivers, all GTE drivers. Then we got a train of 3 GT3 drivers there. So You'll Be Dead, Titan and Penguin, 7th to 9th in the GT3s. Nachos in 10th. Ty Morgo, Blue XR8, P11, P12 respectively, Midi P13. We've got Dean, Morningstar Mike and Black Wildcats, P14, 15, 16 respectively there. So that rounds out the grid, but who's that with the grid penalty? It's Midi. So Midi will be relegated to P14 and Dean will be promoted to P13 after that grid place penalty in qualifying. So it's quite unfortunate there for Midi. There's unfortunate scenes continue here at Algarve at this stage. So hopefully we can see him punch through the pack in race 1. So we're just waiting on the guys to get ready for the next session. So unfortunately for Someone Awesome, he couldn't get into the 139 land. But that was an awesome time by Brett Want to only be pipped by 1/10. So he's gained ground on championship leader Someone Awesome here. So we might have a ripper of a battle on our hands. And then we got Angry Old Fella, who's only 5/10 down from the lead. So we could see a 3-way battle for P1 quite potentially in race 1. And we got Bonicus, Eagle Wind and Exo reasonably close as well. From 4th to 6th. They're all in the 141 land. So there's a lot of close times there. And as for the GT3 guys, You'll Be Dead all the way down the Penguin. They're extremely close in the timings. Only separated by 1/10. So there's going to be a lot of exciting racing tonight, that's for sure. So just waiting on to get into race 1. Not sure what's going on here. We came 31st place again. So it might be a pre-race briefing here. That's what I'll put it down to. So we'll just reiterate the driver spotter here. So we've got Titan the number 2 GT3 Audi. Black Wildcats in the number 88 GT3 Bentley. And we got someone awesome in the number 8 GTE Ford in the number 9 GTE Ford. And we got Bonicus in the number 11 Chevrolet GTE. They might thrive tonight, the Chevrolets. And we got Excel in the number 19 Ford GTE. And we got Angry Old Fella in the sister Chevrolet, number 20. And we got Blue XR8 in the number 31 GT3 Ferrari. We got Vic in the GT3 BMW, number 33. And we got Penguin in the number 43 Honda. And we got Ty Morgo in the number 63 Ferrari in GT3 class. And Eagle Wind in the Ferrari GTE, number 68. Us. Got Mitty, number 93 Aston Martin in the GTE class as well. And we got You'll Be Dead reigning champ, number 162 in the sister Honda. We got Morningstar Mike rounding out the grid in the 666 Lambo GT3. So we're just waiting on green lights here. And just to reiterate, if we have a crash with 2 or more drivers involved, there will be a safety car called. So if you see the lead car slow up, that will only mean a safety car. So here we go. So someone awesome, pole position for the 3rd time in a row here at Algarve. P2 for Brett Want. He's a little bit far just forward there. Angry currently sitting P6 in the championship. He sees himself in P3 on the grid right here. So good qualifying performance from him. Then we got Bonicus, good qualifying performance as well in P4. He's currently sitting in P3 in the championship. Then we've got Eagle Wind in P5. Good qualifying performance from him. Sitting in P2 in the championship. So we might lose a little bit of ground as it stands. XL in P6. And he's currently in P5 in the championship. And then Mitty in P8. That's rounding out the GTE grid. Then you'll be. He's a little bit down in the standings as well. So he's currently P2 in GT3 class, but overall he's P8. So he might be able to gain a little bit of ground on Titan to see himself in P1 behind him. We've got Penguin in P11, a little bit far down in the points at this stage. He's looking to get a big haul of points tonight. He's all the way down to P13 on the championship standings. We're buying performance continues to give us punch his way forward. So we're getting the green lights now. So we'll go to the front on board with someone awesome. There we go. And we're green for round 2, race 1 in the COVID Cup. And a very good jump from championship leader, someone awesome. He's blazing away in P1 there. But it seems as though Brett Want got a little bit bogged down off the start. He's lost a lot of ground. He's lost half a second off the start of this race, only in one corner. Then we got Angry in P3, Bonicus in P4, Eagle Wind in P5, XL in P6. Titans moved up a couple in the P7. A pole position for the GT3 class. And we got a driver in the wall there. That's the Chevrolet of Angry. He's rotated it. Now how bad is that for Angry? He's back out on track now, so he's looking to punch his way forward in the later stages of this race. Quite unfortunate scenes there for Angry. But onto the battle at hand. It's Brett Want trailing someone awesome by half a second. So get track map up. So here we go. We're on board cockpit view. See the variations in race lines taken here. It looks like Brett Want's taking the complete opposite around every corner. It's a massive dive, sends it down the inside, but can't make the move. He has to hold back at this stage. That was a very desperation move there. If he pulled it off, that would have been a ripper of an overtake. but unfortunately he wasn't up far enough to complete the move without making contact. So he needs to get into the slipstream here, turn 1. So 4 attempts down after 1 lap is Brett Want from Someone Awesome. Very deep on the brakes. The inside apex ever so slightly for Brett Want. But he's still making a lot of ground heading into the first hairpin. It seems as though Someone Awesome slowed up there and he's been copped with a slowdown. So new race leader in Brett Want. Someone Awesome relegated back to P2 and he's dropping away fast. 1.5 seconds away from the lead of the race. This might invite Bonicus into the battle for P2. We'll get back to Trurry GTE behind. But that's Eaglewin going out wide there. Exo losing the rear ever so slightly on corner exit, but he holds on to it. So this is the blind uphill corner here. There's a lot of commitment required to go very deep under brakes there. He's 8.7 seconds up on his quickest time, which is a 1:51.3. So he's going a little bit wide there. So I reckon Eaglewin will buy himself into this battle for P4 in 1 lap or so. So we'll go on board. So we've got a battle between the GT3 guys here in Titan and You'll Be Dead, the reigning champion. He's got a little bit of an overlap on the inside. He might be able to send it down the inside heading into turn 1. We'll see if he can get it done. We'll go cockpit view now, and he's held back a little bit. He had to go on the brakes very deep on corner entry there. So very good defensive manoeuvre by Titan in the front. He's went out wide there. That might invite You'll Be Dead to cut back on the inside up ahead. He's going for it. He's taken a lot of the inside curve there, but he didn't get the traction required. So he's just going to have to wait for another opportunity, and he's going to go for a massive dive down the downhill braking zone, but he holds back once again. He's got a little bit of contact from the inside, and that's the 4GT of Nacho. So he's going to hold back here, Nachos. He's got 2 GT3 guys up ahead, and he's got 3 contact from Blue XR8. Unfortunate scenes there for Blue XR8 and Nacho. 2 completely different class drivers there. We've got a car stopped in the middle there. That's Eaglewin. What's happened here? And that's Blue XR8 going out wide there. I'm not sure what that Ferrari is there. So Eaglewin's disconnected. Seems to be net issues. So Brett Want still leading this thing by half a second over championship leader in You'll Be Dead. You can see him onto the main straight now. Someone Awesome. He's got the lights on. He's ready to intimidate Brett Want heading into turn 1. How deep can Someone Awesome go on the brakes? He's caught up a little bit of ground. But he's still half a second down. So we've got 2 completely different manufacturers battling for P1 here. It's Ferrari versus Ford. Ford versus Ferrari. It's a historic battle, this one, for sure. And down on his quickest lap. So it seems as though Brett Want, he's on a flyer of a lap at this stage. So 7 tenths down now. And Bonicus, he's in P3, a lap 4 of 9. Exo sitting comfortably in P4. And it's fair to say he's got a decent gap in front of him and behind him. We've got Titan, You'll Be Dead, JJ Penguin, all fighting for position 1 in GT3 class. Overall, this is the battle for P5. So Titan's got a little bit of an advantage over his competitors in You'll Be Dead and Penguin behind. So it's the 2 Hondas trying to get in front of the Audi of Titan there. But Titan's going to be favoured as long as these 2 battle like this, because it's bumper to bumper stuff here. We have to go on board with JJ Penguin. This is close racing right here. You might think about making a move heading into turn 1 if you get the slipstream. Not gaining as much ground as you'd think, so he might have to hold back here. He's going to gain some ground under brakes. Takes a completely different line. He might be able to set him up heading into turn 3 here. He's right on the bumper now, but he's blocked out wide, so he can't make the move. Trying to do a cut back here, and he might have to do it once again. Heading onto the back straight now, and he might be able to get it done in the downhill braking zone. No, he's lost a little bit of traction on exit there. Does he make a dive down the inside? That's a massive dive. What's happened there? I'm not sure what happened there, because you'll be dead. He's all the way back now. So something definitely happened, because there's a redress going on between Penguin and You'll Be Dead. So unfortunately we didn't get that on stream. We had a little bit of a lag spike. So someone awesome. He's still trailing Brett Want in the Ferrari. So we'll get back to our traditional trackside view. Try spot up a battle. We'll get on board with Brett Want so we can see him in picture as well. So they're down the main straight now. Now let's see the sector split for Brett Want, because they're recording consistent lap times. It's a 1:41.1. Someone awesome was 4 tenths slower of a 1:41.5. So the pole sitter is in the wars at this stage. Brett Want is on a mission. He's looking to secure his first race win in the COVID Cup. Will he be able to upset Someone Awesome? We'll wait and see. Someone Awesome's clean sweep every race. Pole position so far. So this will be a massive upset if he can pull it off, because Someone Awesome, he's been caught with another slowdown, and he sees himself 2.5 seconds down now. So this is looking very unlikely for Someone Awesome to catch up. We've got Bonicus in P3, 6 seconds behind the lead of the race, and we've got Exo in P4, 10 seconds, 11 seconds behind the lead. And then we got Titan. He's got a little bit of clean air in front of him and behind him now. So the championship leader in GT3 class is also leading the GT3 battle here. And he's currently sitting P5 overall. So he's looking to add another overall top 5 finish and another race win in the GT3 class. And that's Ty Morgo in the Ferrari GT3. He's sitting P2 in GT3 class for overall P6. Overall P7 for JJ Penguin now. So he's made a move on You'll Be Dead, who's had to come out of pit lane there. So he may have had some damage in that incident with JJ Penguin. So not sure what happened there. There's definitely not a mandatory pit stop in this race. So that means Angry gets promoted up into P14. Got Nachos in P13. He had a little incident earlier with Blue XR8. A little bit of a tap in the rear, and that unsettled the rear stability of his car. And that has also severely impacted Blue XR8's race as well. So quite unfortunate for those two guys there. We've got Mitty in P11 in the Aston Martin GTE. Morningstar Mike in the Lambo GT3 there. So he's chasing down the Bentley of Dean, who's 2 seconds ahead of him. And he seems to be gaining lots of ground on him. So wait and see what their lap times are across the line here. Dean's last up at 150.6. And Morningstar Mike, 5 seconds quicker than the car ahead. So he might be able to make a move relatively soon on Dean here. So we'll go on board cockpit view, Morningstar Mike's point of view. So let's see if he can gain that ground on this lap. This is lap 7 of lap 9. We've still got one qualifying session to follow. That's going to be a 5-minute qualifying session. And then following that is an 18-lap race with a mandatory pit stop. So this is the sprint race of tonight. We've got the feature race up next. Really quick at this stage. He's looking to gain a lot of ground, and he's looking to cement himself into 9th position if he can make the move soon. Doesn't have many laps to do so, so he's going to have to be extremely quicker than Dean ahead. Going to be a lot of commitment in these sort of braking zones here that would get him up to where he needs to be. So he's gained a little bit of ground in the mid-sector there. He's looking to gain a little bit under brakes here, taking a narrower line, which means he's going to have to get on the accelerator later. So he's went out wide there. He's missed his brake marker, but Dean also goes out wide. He might be able to get an overlap heading onto the main straight now. And Dean blocks down the inside, but he goes to the traditional racing line there. And Morningstar Mike, relatively easy move made right there. So awesome stuff by Morningstar Mike to get the move made down the main straight. Very deep under brakes is Dean, so he's not happy about Morningstar Mike overtaking him here, and he's gone for a massive dive. Now, does Morningstar Mike do a cutback? No, he's stuck out on the wide side, so that grants him access to the inside line. And there's a cutback there from Dean, so awesome move there. And he's back in the P9. So we'll go trackside view, see if Morningstar Mike makes a dive. No, he holds back now. So Dean with awesome defensive racecraft there. Can he hold on though? Someone awesome. He's 1.5 seconds down from the lead of this race. That is currently held by Brett Want. So someone awesome. Championship leader. Clean sweep last round. Pole position this race. And he sees himself in P2. And he doesn't have many laps to make that executing the manoeuvre. And as for Dean and Morningstar Mike, this battle is starting to really heat up. And Dean is really under attack here by Morningstar Mike. Morningstar Mike's got the outside line. Dean's got the defensive inside. He should be able to hold on. No, he goes out wide. And Morningstar Mike with a perfect cutback manoeuvre right there in the last sector on lap 8. That should be position 9 cemented for him. He's got a decent gap ahead of Dean now as well. And the timing seemed to be a little bit messed up there. Because Morningstar Mike is definitely in front of Dean. But it's saying he's a lot further away from the lead of the race than Dean is. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Project Car's got to fix that up. So 1.8 seconds off his fastest lap. We're on board with JJ Penguin. Got Ty Morgo ahead, but not looking likely to make a move for P2 and GT3 class unless Ty Morgo makes a mistake. But he's looking quick tonight. He's looking to get a big haul of points in this race. We're on board with someone awesome. Cockpit view. They're heading on to the main straight now. And it's going to be race 1. Won by Brett Want. So he stops the streak going for someone awesome who clean sweeped the last round. 2 race wins in a row. And that has been stopped by Brett Want. So awesome performance from Brett Want to move up from P2 on the grid all the way up to P1. And still the race victory from someone awesome, the championship leader. Very good performance from Bonicus, who ends up in P3 in the Chevrolet. And we've got Exo in P4. Very consistent performance from him. Titan in P5. Another GT3 win for him. Overall P5 in the GT3 car of the Audi. He's going to go across the line now. And that was an awesome performance by him. So he's the pace setter in the GT3 class. And Ty Morgo overall P6, P2 in GT3. Penguin overall P7, P3 in GT3. Black Wildcats, I think he's in the Bentley GT3. Not sure, we'll get trackside view up. Yep, so he's in the Bentley number 88. So he finishes P4 in class, overall P8. Overall P9 for Morningstar Mike, but P5 in class. Dean overall P10, P6 in class. P7 in class for Blue XR8, overall P11. Unfortunate for Nachos, overall P12, but in class I think he's about P5, P6. And we've got Angry in P13, Mitty in P14, and then Reigning Champ, he's in the wall there in P15. So he's had a disaster of a round there, you'll be dead. He's lost a lot of ground on Titan for the battle for the GT3 Championship. So there are your unofficial results right there. Brett Want, someone awesome. Bonicus rounding out your podium there. Then P4, P5, Exorcist, Titan respectively. P6 goes to Morningstar Mike. Penguin, P7. Black Wildcats, P8. Morningstar Mike, P9. Dean, P10. Blue XR8, P11. Nachos in P12. Angry Disaster in P13. Disaster for Mitty as well. He's got a lot of ground to make up in the second race, so he sees himself in P14. And then You'll Be Dead in P15. And then we had a disconnection from Eagerwind. I think he got booted out due to internet connection or something along those lines. So very unfortunate for him, because he was currently sitting P2 in the championship heading in. So no doubt he's lost a lot of ground there. I'm sure he'll get points awarded, because it was quite unfair that he got disconnected. So we're just waiting for the next race to start. In the meantime, we will be back soon. When I was going up there, I was like, close to each other. I was like, I'm not even getting it. I want to put a precision airstrike down. Precision airstrike down on this building here. It's gone into the back building over there, and this will destroy it. So we're going into qualifying 2, which is going to be 5 minutes. So the drivers effectively have 1 lap to make their attack on pole position. But if they're lucky enough, they may be able to scrape in 2 laps. So we'll wait and see who gets that 2 laps at the top. So we'll see quite a busy pit lane at the start of this session. Just going to open the window, it's very hot in here. Alright, so got a few drivers coming out now. Really Dead's coming out. Just trying to see who's coming up first. There's the championship leader, someone awesome. Eagle Win, he's back in for race 2. Oh, Morgo's still in. So Nachos is the first driver out on track now. So we'll actually get the sector splits and the track map up now. So we've still got a lot of drivers still in pit lane. They might be opting to get enough grip on the track later on. So they might go out in the next minute or so. They want everyone else to grip up the track before they have their attempt at their hot lap. So that's Nachos going out wide there. So a little bit of a mistake. I'm not sure who's ahead of him. It might be Ty Morgo. I reckon it is. No. Just going to try find who that is. No, that's the Ferrari of Eagle Win. So he'll be the first one to cross the control line to set a hot lap. He's got a little bit of damage in the front end, so I'm not sure why we're getting a visual glitch there. I'm sure he doesn't have damage on the front end. Unless he's giving someone a little rear nudge out the pits. You can see a little bit of a lag spike there from Eagle Win, so hopefully his internet holds on. So he's punching himself onto the main straight now. The slingshot last corner here at Algarve. So here we go. We'll go cockpit view on board with Eagle Win. Let's see how deep he goes in the turn 1. Goes very deep. Does he get it pulled up? That's Bonicus exceeding track limits there in the race speed. So he got it pulled up quite perfectly there, Eagle Win. How does the hairpin go here? Goes out a little bit wide, but he's able to get on the power relatively early. Now uphill now, down the back straight. Into the downhill braking zone of turn 5, I think it is. So he got it pulled up quite nicely there. We won't get sector splits up on screen because he hasn't recorded a lap yet. We're looking quite clean to start off in the first sector. He's very jittery around the circuit, that's for sure. Might have a bit of a downtime on the internet. Hit the inside apex there. So in the last sector now for Eagle Win. And I think he's got the Ford GT of Nachos behind him. We'll quickly hop on board with Nachos once Eagle Win has finished his hot lap. So we've got trackside view once again. So this is going to be across the control line for Eagle Win. So keep in mind the pace setters in GTE, so that's a 1:42.4, so that's not going to be quick enough to get pole position, you would imagine. Someone awesome puts his name up in the P1 with a 1:41.3, so he's going to have another attempt at it. Says, you'll be dead. with a 1:43.3, replicating his lap in qualifying 1. That's awesome pace from him and awesome consistency. We've got Ty Morgo on P4 with a 1:44.4. He's been relegated by Penguin, who just recorded a 1:44.3. We've got Mitty in P6 with a 1:45.3. Dean with a 1:45.7 in P7. Morningstar Mike, he's been relegated to P9 now with a 1:45.9. And that was Titan moving up in the P4. And he's surely cemented... No, he's not P1 for GT3, so he's parked it. He doesn't think there's any more pace in it, so he sees himself overall P5 or 1:43.4. Now Blue XRA, he's put in a lap, so he's on a hot lap now. We'll have it a crack at cockpit view once again, see how busy he is inside the cockpit. Very technical section of the track in this late mid sector and early third sector, but he's 15 seconds up on his time, which will provisionally put him in the 1:45 range. He's lost the rear there. He's caught it though. He's definitely going to lose time. So he's got a car behind. It's one of the GTE guys. I think it's Nacho. So he's going to get a little bit of a draft off Blue XR8. And it's just going to be across the control line for Blue XR8 now. There's a bit of movement in the leaderboards there, and that puts him P8 with 1:43.9. So awesome lap in the GT3 there for Blue XR8. Nachos doesn't go quicker, so that's qualifying done and dusted for him. He's trying to find Black Wildcats. He's in the last sector now. He's got a few guys in front of him. Might see a shake-up in the leaderboards now. Keep a close eye on that. So I think that was Angry going up in the P3 with a 1:41.3. So that was a very good lap in the dying stages of qualifying. Put him up in the mix. Now across the line, we didn't get an indication of whether it improved for Black Wildcats. So I don't think it did, unfortunately. So the top 5 drivers all in GT3 class. Once again, someone awesome with pole position this race. So he's the qualifying specialist. So there we go. Got Brett Ron in P2 once again. Another podium finish. Got Angry in P3. He's looking to recover from the last race. Falling down in P13. Then we got Eagle in P4. So that's pole position for GP3 for Penguin. You'll be dead in P7 overall. P3 Titan. Really off the pace tonight. Practice earlier on in the week, he was recording 1:42 in the GP3 Audi. So he's a little bit off the pace tonight. Charge his way forward to the race score. 18 laps to come. Body's for P9, 2x8, 10. So we're going to the grid now. So once again, championship leader, someone awesome, sees himself in pole position at Algarve. We got Brett Lon in P2. We got Angry in P3, ready to resurrect his around here. Trying to recover from a P13 finish. Eagle wins in P4 after that disconnection in race 1. And we've got Exo finish P4 in race 1. He'll be looking to get another solid result in race 2. We've got Bonica finish P3 in the first race. He's down himself down in P6. We've got Nachos in P7. He had quite a disaster race as well. So he's looking to gain some ground. And a big haul of points this time around. Penguin, pole position in GT3 class. Awesome time from him. A very good qualifying performance right there. Reigning champ, you'll be dead. P9. He's really far down the championship in this stage. He's got a lot of ground to make up in this race as well. We've got Titan. Overall P5 in the championship. P1 in the championship for GT3 class. Sees himself overall P10. Blue XR8 P11. Ty Morgo's P12. Those two, They got a lot of work to do if they're to gain the points deficit on Titan. Then we got Morningstar Mike P13, Black Wildcats in P14, and then Dean rounding out the 15 card grid in P15. So it's a 15 card grid right there. We're about to go green light racing here at Algarve. So just to reiterate this race, there is a mandatory pit stop, but pit lane will open at the end of lap 5. So no mandatory pit stop will count until the end of lap 5. So the drivers know that. If they have to come in for repairs before that time, they're still required to do a mandatory pit stop at a later stage. So here we go. We're about to go green here at Algarve for race 2 of round 2 of the COVID Cup. And there we go. Green lights out. And that was a massive launch once again from the championship leader in Someone Awesome. Now, he's going to lead everyone heading into turn 1. We'll go on board with Eagle with cockpit view to get the picture right in front of him, and he's moved up in the P3. He's going for a massive dive here. He won't be able to pull it off. He's a little bit too far back. So he's right on the tail of Brett Want, the previous race winner. Someone Awesome, he's really gapped himself off the start there. He's got half a second gap now over Brett Want. Got to remember that's near replicating his previous race start, but then he was caught with a couple of slowdown penalties that relegated him all the way back to P2. So he'll be really curious and careful with those track limits in this race for sure. So you can see Brett Want really gaining ground on the championship leader, Someone Awesome. Get trackside view up. So there's Brett Want in picture now. Two very different race lines taken by these two. Once again, like I said, replicating lap 1 of race 1 in this round. Someone Awesome. He's went out wide there. He might be under threat now from Brett Want in P2. So if Brett Want can stay in the draft here, he might be able to set up a move heading into turn 1, maybe turn 3. It's the best case scenario for him. So we're heading on the pit straight now. That's going to be the end of lap 1 of 18. Go back on board, cockpit view with Brett Want. He's a little bit too far back to make a move heading into turn 1. He's gaining ground really deep under brakes. Goes out very wide there. He might get a slowdown. He almost rotated himself off the curb. So in that sense, it really punished him by going on the curb there, because he's got a lot of wheel spin coming off it. So that's really put him a little bit far back now in regards to the lead of this race. Trying to set up another battle here. So 3 attempts down now is Brett Want. Now he's really making an attack on him now. So he's dropped off a little bit once again. So very different accelerator inputs coming in and out of corners by these two. So the gap jitters around a little bit. So very deep on the brakes. You can hear the revs roar there from Someone Awesome. Still got it to a stop, but he missed the inside apex, and he might be under a little bit of pressure once again in the last sector. He's gone out wide. But he's got a good launch off the last corner. But Brett Want with a better launch. He might be able to put himself in the draft, and he may be able to make a move at turn 1 this time around. We'll wait and see. So Someone Awesome, he's trying to break the slipstream there. Desperate move there made by Someone Awesome, and he is successful in doing so though. Now Brett Want catching up on the brakes once again, but that hinders his exit there. He'll have to get on the power a little bit later. Now he's trying to do a cutback here. He's going to send it down the inside. No, he's not. He's just going to hold it right in behind the bumper of Someone Awesome. So these two only separated by 3.5 attempts now. This is close stuff. Very good even launch there. We'll go on board with JJ Penguin. who is under pressure by the GT3 championship leader so far in Titan. So no doubt this battle's going to heat up in the next few laps or so. So we'll watch this with a close eye. So Brett Watt, he's lost a little bit of ground, about 1/10 in the last sector there in comparison to Someone Awesome. So over the hill now for these two. JJ Penguin, he's got a little bit of a gap between himself and Titan now, so he might be under less pressure. So he's got the car in his rear view mirror, so you can still see him. Blue XR8, he's moved up into overall P8, P3 in GT3. So that's an awesome jump off the line from him. And he's looking to catch up to the guys ahead in Penguin and Titan. So there's Penguin coming on to the back main straight now. And he's still got a decent gap between himself and Titan there. I don't think Titan will be close enough to get the slipstream. We'll go on board cockpit view with Titan to see if he's actually gaining ground. So he's definitely gaining a little bit of ground. Very deep under brakes now, and he's going to understeer heading into turn 1. He might be able to, he might cop a slow down penalty for that. So he's had to back off a little bit here. Blue XR8, he's catching up to this pack as well. Ty Morgo, he's on the attack. He's got Blue XR8 ahead of him. He's only down by 1 second there. You'll be dead, the reigning champ. He's a little bit further back from this pack. And we've got Black Wildcats all the way back in P11. We've had a couple of disconnections. I'm not sure who from. And we've got Nachos in P12. He's really struggling this round, Nachos. He's going to have to punch his way forward in the later stages of this race. And he's got severe amounts of steering arm damage there. You can see the lock to the left hand side that he's got just to keep his car straight. That's Black Wildcats ahead there. Morningstar Mike, he's back in P13. And his steering arm looks to be reasonably straight, so he might be able to make the move for P12 on Nachos relatively soon. So back to trackside view. Someone Awesome still holding a 7/10 lead over Brett Want, who's in P2. They're both on the main straight now, heading into lap 5. Now heading into turn 1. How deep does Brett Want go on the brakes? He looks to have gone very deep, but how's his exit? So he's 6/10 down now. A lot of ground made in the braking zone there. So midway through the first sector. See how much ground Brett can make in the downhill braking zone here. It really rewards late braking this corner if you can pull it off. And he seems to have made a little bit of ground, but didn't get a good exit. Very limited on traction there, and it sees him all the way back 8/10 down now. So the tyres might be hurting just a little bit in the rear left tyre for these two. Now Penguin, he's 3/10 ahead of Titan, so Titan's really catched up and closed the gap between himself and Penguin here. So this battle is going to be on for the lead of GT3 class, overall P6. So we'll get on board cockpit view. On board with Titan now. So you can see the two very different racing lines there from these drivers. Hear the tyre squeal on entry there for Titan. It's going to be going a little bit wide, heading onto the back straight now. A long right hand to the end of the lap, and these tyres will be killing after this numerous amounts of time. Well, lucky Project Cars doesn't have tyre blowout, because I'm sure if it was a thing in Project Cars, no doubt their rear left tyre would be blown out by, I'd say, lap 10, due to the amount of heat that they are under. It would be like the 2005 Formula One GP at Indianapolis, where I think their rear tyres just exploded on the last corner. We've lost a little bit of ground here, Titan. We might have to move back up in the battle for P1. Because once again, no. So Brett Want, he's taken the lead from Southern Awesome. And it's deja vu for Southern Awesome as well. Because I reckon he's been copped a slowdown there. And he's had to give position to Brett. And Brett sees himself in P1 now. 4 temps back is Southern Awesome, the championship leader. So he's going to be looking to gain a little bit of ground in the next lap or so. But because he doesn't have track position now, he might opt the pit in. So we'll wait and see. So we're heading onto the back straight now between these two for P1. Now, Brett's gonna... No, he fakes him there. He fakes him. So Southern Awesome, he's really been caught out there. So that was a wonderful move by Brett to fake him there. I reckon it might be the better call. Because it's a very long pit lane here at Algarve. Now, does Southern Awesome change tyres here? He looks to be holding for a relatively long time there. So he's lost a couple positions. He's relegated all the way back to P6. Exorcist also followed Titan in the pit lane. So he's coming to his pit box now. Now, does he change his tyres? No. So, he's for the pit stop there. It's done for Exo. He's exiting pit lane now. Do we have anyone else in pit lane? No. So we only have Exo. So Brett Want, he's got a 10-second lead over the next closest competitor in Angry, who's in the Chevrolet. So we'll just stay on board with Brett and see if he covers Southern Awesome on this lap, because it might be a possibility. But that was a very good move to fake him there, so he can just get the pressure off him so he can punch in a good in-lap. So does he opt the pit in and cover Southern Awesome here? So no, he stays out once again. So it's going to be an optimistic move there from Brett Want. An optimistic strategy play for him. Now, Blue XR8 and Ty Morgo are starting to have a heated battle. So we'll stay on board with this. This is the battle for P6 overall. And P3 for GT3 class. Ty Morgo, he got a very good launch at the last corner, but he looks to have gone a little bit wide there. Heading on to the main straight now. We'll actually go on board cockpit view, see if there's a slipstream going on here. So definitely gaining ground now. Heading into turn 1. How deep does it go? And that's Blue Accelerator ahead going a little bit wide. He might cop a slowdown for that. He's going on the defensive now, heading into the first hairpin of turn 3. Now onto the back straight now for the back half of sector 1 in the slipstream once again, but too far back to make a move. He makes an attempt at it, but he pulls out of it because he thought otherwise. So he's lost a little bit of ground after making that move. Should have stayed on the traditional racing line. That's Blue XR8 going out wide there. He's definitely unsettled there now. So his ribbon is all but gone. He goes off to the right-hand side there. So he's lost rear traction. He's barely held on to it to keep it on track. And that gives Ty Morgo overall P6 there and the final podium position for the GT3 class at this stage. We're currently on lap 8 of lap 18 now. Now, does Brett pit in? No, he's gone another time around. He's on lap 9 of 18, so we're at the halfway point of race 2 at Algarve for the COVID Cup round 2. So now we've got Angry in P2. He's 12 seconds down from the leader in Brett. And we've got Bonicus in P3. We've got Penguin in P4 overall, effectively the leader for GT3. Yeah, he seems to be under pressure by the Audi of Titan, so he had to go defensive heading into turn 1. That's really going to hinder him on exit now because Titan, he's got an overlap on the inside, and that's going to be moved done. Can Penguin do the cut back here? He's going to attempt it. No, he didn't get the traction coming out. So he's going to have to hold in behind Titan here. So we'll have a look at how the slipstream's going on the back straight. So he's not really making ground, but in the braking zone now, he makes a little bit of ground and really unsettled in the rear for the Audi of Titan there. A little bit of a lag spike here once again. And that's Penguin taking a lot of the inside curb. So you can see two very different racing lines here. Now, Titan's trying to get on the power early. It works for him because he gets an awesome launch off the uphill corner there. Now, heading into sector 3 now. Both very deep on the brakes, heading into that blind left-hander. We'll actually get the track map up to see where the drivers are all around the track. So Brett has opted to stay out once again. So he's currently on lap 10 of 18, correction. Penguin, he's lost a little bit of ground, the Titan, after that move that was made on him a lap ago. So he's going into pit lane now, so he's looking to undercut Titan here. So he's going to have a good outlap if he's to get past Titan in the lead, for the lead of the GT3 class. Now, where's Brett on track? So he's in the mid-sector now. So we'll get back on board with trackside view. We've got a battle between Ty Morgo and Someone Awesome. They're both in completely different car classes here. It's GT3 versus GTE right here. Someone Awesome, the championship leader, he's really under pressure from the GT3 of Ty Morgo, and he seems to have copped another slowdown once again. So Ty Morgo moves up into P5. We've got Titan in P4 for GT3. We'll wait and see if he actually covers the Acura of Penguin as well, because we know Penguin come in the previous lap. So that's Ty Morgo letting Someone Awesome pass there, but he's trying to go for a cutback here. Very unfamiliar scenes here. We've got two completely different classes of car. We've got Someone Awesome in the faster GTE car, and then we've got Ty Morgo in the slower GT3 car, and he's really keeping up to the rear end of Someone Awesome. And Someone Awesome, he's really no slouch in this series because he is the championship leader. So that's awesome pace there from Ty Morgo to keep up with the championship leader. And Brett stays out once again. And the Chevy of Angry. Remember last race he finished P13, so he's looking to have a good result looking forward in race 2. He can hold on to it for the remainder of the race. He's still yet to do his mandatory pit stop, so no doubt he'll be in relatively soon. Bonicus looking to round out a consistent round here at Algarve. Currently P3, so he's looking very quick, and he has a lot of pace on board that Chevy. So he's looking to be a championship contender. Currently P3 in the championship, if I do recall correctly. So he's no doubt there or thereabouts as a championship contender. We've got Titan, P4 overall, and P1 in GT3. And the current GT3 championship leader, he sees himself in P1 there. Someone Awesome all the way back in P5. He's made a pit stop though. Ty Morgo in P6 overall, P2 in class. So I'm not sure if he's made a pit stop. I know Exo's made a pit stop in P7. Penguin's made a pit stop in P8. Blue XR8, I'm not sure. He's all the way back in P9, so surely he's made a pit stop. We've got the Bentley of Black Wildcats there. He's in P10. Not sure if he's made a pit stop. You'll Be Dead, I'm pretty sure he's made a pit stop as well. Nachos And then Morningstar Mike round out the 13 car field. So Angry's coming in pit lane. He's been relegated back to P3. And now that's going to be Titan going past Angry there. And I think Someone Awesome will be able to get past him as well. So Someone Awesome is up in the P4 now. So Titan still yet to make a mandatory pit stop. And he's got the championship leader of Someone Awesome behind him. So you can see him in the background there. So he's really making ground now on the lead. Someone Awesome. He's 36 seconds adrift from Brett in P1. So as for Brett, where is he on track? So he's in sector 3 now. Is he going to pit in this lap? I reckon it might be a high possibility he does. So he's heading onto the main straight now. A long right-hander to end this lap. There you go, he stays out once again. So a very optimistic strategy play there. So the answer to the question, has Black Wildcats made a pit stop? No, he hasn't. So he's in pit lane now. Morningstar Mike has followed him in, and he'll rejoin the track in P13. So I think these two guys are coming out of their pit boxes now. So no, Black Wildcats is entering his pit boom. Morningstar Mike, he's back out on track, but he's a couple laps down from the lead of this race. So the next driver in line for him is Nachos, but he's over a minute ahead of Morningstar Mike. So he's just going to have to rotate around the circuit here to be a classified finisher so he can get a decent haul of points for him and his team. Got to keep in mind his teammate in EXO is in P7, so at this stage they're going to get a decent amount of points, but they're not going to gain ground on the championship leaders in Someone Awesome and Blue XR8. So they might drop a little bit in the point scenario here. So Someone Awesome, he's chasing down Titan now, and he should be able to make the move down the inside. They're on the back straight now, midway through the first sector. Easy move made by Someone Awesome. He's just going to take the defensive line heading into this second hairpin here on entry to the mid-sector. But that is an example of GTE versus GT3. It's relatively easy to get the move done. So that's P3 now for Someone Awesome. He's 39 seconds behind the lead of the race. That is owned by Brett Wan, and he's still yet to make a mandatory pit stop, so I'm not sure when he's going to come in. I think he's gone another time around because he's on lap 14 now. So he looks to be making that pit stop as late as possible. So this might be a gutsy strategy play here, because I reckon he does have the time in hand to be able to stay in front of Someone Awesome for the lead of this race. So Brett Wan, he's really tracking quite well. Really consistent lap times. His last lap was a 1:41.2 in comparison to a 1:42.5 for Someone Awesome. So he's really gained on the last lap alone. And Someone Awesome, he's only on the main straight now, so that's a decent gap between himself and Someone Awesome all the way back in P3. And we got Bonicus in P2. He's yet to make a mandatory pit stop. He's 31 seconds behind the lead of this race, but he's looking good for another consistent result here. Last race he finished P3, so it'll be a battle for the Chevys for the last podium spot between himself and Angry, who's currently in P5. So let's see if we can set up another battle here. Just going to go through the timings. Unfortunately, we've got nothing going on. The closest thing is a GT3 versus GTE here between Titan and Angry. That's as far as battle packs go. Can Titan hold on though? So I think he's yet to make a pit stop as well. So we'll see him in relatively soon. That's awesome pace there from Titan on older tyres. He's only 3 tenths down on his quickest. So I'm not sure what compound he's on. It looks to be the hard compound for him. His fastest lap is a 1:45 by the looks of it. Maybe a 1:46 flat. So he's definitely on the hard compound. So he might not make a tyre change in the pit stop. And he opts to go another lap around. And that's what Brett wants. He's also opted to do the same. He's in the mid-sector now, so we'll stay on board with Brett, who's got a little bit of lap traffic up ahead in blue XR8. And he looks to be getting out of the way soon, I reckon. So he should let him by at the hairpin up here. And that's good stuff there. Good awareness from blue XR8 to let Brett want right past. So Brett, he's on lap 15 of 18, so we've got 3 laps remaining in race 2. Can Brett want clean sweep the race wins here? We'll wait and see in 3 laps time. So he's still going to go another lap around. But last lap, he still had a faster lap time over someone awesome. So I reckon he's going with the right strategy here because he's still reasonably quick in comparison to someone awesome behind him. So I reckon a very good strategy play there. Last lap from Titan was a 1:44.5. He's under pressure from Angry now, who's in the GTE Chevrolet there. Go on board with Angry, cockpit view. He's going to get the move made down the inside. Easy as. Got to keep in mind it's the faster car versus the slower car. GTE versus GT3 here. That was an easy move there made by Angry. Currently sitting P4. So Bonicus, he's in for his mandatory pit stop now. Relegated all the way back to P3 now. And Angry heading onto the main straight now. He'll be able to get P3 off of Bonicus there. And Titan will move up in the P4 as well. So very good consistent lap times there from Titan. Half a second off his fastest lap of the race on older tyres. So that's reasonably good pace there from him to continue his consistency. Now Bonicus is relegated back to P6. So he rejoins the track in P6. So Exo's a little bit further back. He's got about a 15-second gap between himself and Bonicus. So P7's probably as far as Exo's going to get at this stage. But we'll wait and see who's actually still got a pit in. So I think Titan and Ty Morgo still got to make their mandatory pit stops, as well as Brett and P1. But effectively, I reckon Brett is still in the lead of this race. So he still holds a 40-second lead over his closest competitor and someone awesome behind him in P2. So I don't think he'll go in to change tyres. He'll just go in to sit in his pit box for about 5 seconds and come straight back out. We've got Nachos in pit lane. So this is the last lap for Brett Want to actually get his mandatory pit stop done. So we'll actually stay on board with the championship leader and someone awesome, because he's trying to chase down the leader of Brett Want, who's yet to make a mandatory pit stop. So I'll shut up for the rest of this lap. Enjoy a hot lap on board with championship leader someone awesome. Someone awesome still in the mid-sector, so we'll see if he can actually get ahead of Brett in P1. relatively long pit transit for him. It's going to feel like forever on his end. So Southern Awesome, he's on the last corner now. The long right-hander heading onto the main straight. But I reckon Brett, he's going to come out with a relatively easy gap between himself and Southern Awesome. So that was an awesome strategy play there from Brett Want to fake Southern Awesome coming into the pits and force him to effectively do a pit stop in the mid-stage of this race. It's quite hilarious, actually, because it was definitely looking like that he was going in to make a pit stop, and he changes his mind at the last minute. So he's got an 8-second gap over himself, well, over Southern Awesome in P2. We've got Angry in P3, who's a further 8 seconds away from Southern Awesome. We've got Ty Morgo, who's coming into pit lane for his mandatory pit stop. Now, where does Titan come out in regards to this? Because this is effectively the battle for P1 in GT3 class. And he's going to get past him quite easily here. So that's going to be another class win for Titan. That's going to be four in a row, is it? I think it's 4 in a row, so I hope I'm not wrong. So we'll go trackside view now. And once again, clean sweeping the race wins is going to be Brett Want. He's got an easy gap of 8 seconds, so he can just stroll to the finish line here. You can see the Lambo of Morningstar Mike behind him, who's sitting in P12. So he's a lap car. We've got a car up ahead. That's one of the GT3 guys, one of the Acura guys. I reckon it's You'll Be Dead in P10. So that, another wonderful win from Brett Want. Good strategy play there from him to fake Southern Awesome to make a pit stop. Southern Awesome finishes in P2 once again. So 2 first place finishes in the first round. He's been relegated all the way back to 2 second place finishes in round 2. So Brett Want has gained ground on the championship leader in Southern Awesome. Angry rounds out the podium there in P3. Exo, P4. 2 P4 finishes in round 2. Very consistent results from him. And he's going to get himself and his team a big haul of points. We get our usual race-ending shenanigans there from Nachos, who's basically totaled his car there. It's a wonderful performance for Exo to get across the line in P4. Titan, he's going to get another clean sweep here in GT3 class. Comes across the line overall P5. So another awesome performance from him, really punching above his weight in comparison to a few of the GTE guys. And we've got Penguin, who finishes P2 in class, overall P6. Wonderful performance from him to recover from his previous disastrous round there. And Ty Morgo, P3 in class, overall P7. Wonderful performance from him to get a few more points on the board. Blue XR8, he's on his roof there. He looks to be total, but he finishes overall P8. Bonicus, overall P9. He was running as high as second. So something really went wrong for him. They'll finish all the way back in P9. So I'm not sure what happened to him. You'll Be Dead in P10. Black Wildcats in P11. We had a disconnection off the last second there. Black Wildcats in P11. Morningstar Mike in P12. Nachos P13. Dean in P14 with a DQ. So I'm not sure what happened there. That's off the first lap. So he's done something wrong. He may have sped in pit lane. I'm not sure. I didn't keep track of that story. So that was the second driver that wasn't a part of the grid. So there you have it. The conclusion of round 2 of the COVID Cup. Hosted by Go2Whoa's. Brett Want, he's definitely made ground this round. So I'll just quickly get the standings up and see how the championship scenario changes. It's just optimistic views here. Basic calculations off the top of my head. So Brett Want, he's all the way back in P7. So he's 35 points down. Yeah, he should have been able to get 8 points over Someone Awesome in the last race. So effectively 23 points down just from that one. And then another further 4 points ahead in race 1. So he sees himself about 18 points down from the lead of the championship now. So he's definitely gained a little bit of ground in round 2. So just to reiterate the championship standings heading in. So Someone Awesome P1, he's going to remain there. I reckon Eaglewind, he's going to be relegated due to that disconnection in race 1. So we'll see him about P3, P4. We'll have Exo, I reckon maybe even actually for him P4, I reckon. Angry, he might move up a couple here. Had an awesome last race to finish P3. Brett Want, clean sweep of wins, so he's definitely looking to make ground. Then we got You'll Be Dead in P8. Disastrous first race and an average second race, so he's still got a decent haul of points, but looking unlikely to move up. Ty Morgo had a very good round, so he might move above You'll Be Dead there. Blue XR8, an average round from him, might see him stay where he is in P10. Morningstar Mike might move down a couple positions with that P13 finish in race 2. Black Wildcats should be able to gain a little bit of ground there. He's 6 points down on Morningstar Mike and P12. Penguin, he had a really good round in round 2 of the COVID Cup here. Thanks for the follow, Waynetus. Really appreciated, mate. So, yeah, just to get back onto the story at hand. P13 Penguin, surely he's going to make up positions here. Mitty in P14, he had an average round as well. So, he's still going to get a good haul of points for his team, but not looking likely to move up. Dean, Vic, I think Vic disconnected in the last race, so he's not going to get a big haul of points this time around. Nachos, he was here, but quite an average round from him as well. And Azza didn't make the grid, so he's still got to stay in P18. So that's done and dusted for tonight. COVID Cup, hosted by Go2Whoa, round 2. Was at Algarve. So this Sunday, don't miss any of the action of the V8 Supercars Sunday Series. It's round 4. And Sugo is playing host for that round. It's going to be 2 sprint races once again. Both 75-kilometre sprint races with mandatory pit stops. So that will start at 5:20 Australian Central Standard Time. So I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.